Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for tuning in with me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a good old foundation review. I feel like this year has been a little bit more quiet on the foundation front. I haven't done as many foundation reviews as I did the year before. So I am so happy to be finally reviewing a foundation again. Now the foundation in question today is the Smashbox Always On Skin Balancing Foundation. This bottle right here, I'm going to give you all of the details. We are going to look at the claims, at the shade range, that's a whole different story. I'm going to get into that. And of course, I'm going to be applying the foundation as well. And I'm going to come back with a wear test and my final thoughts on the foundation at the end of the video. And right before I am starting off the review, I just wanted to say that this video is not sponsored, nor did I receive this product or any other product that I'm going to be talking about in today's video in PR. I purchased all of the products with my own money. However, I am going to be linking all of the products mentioned in today's video and also the rest of what I'm actually wearing on my face, since I'm wearing a full bead today. I'm going to be linking all of the products in my description box down below. These are going to be affiliate links with my third-party partner, Shop My Shelf, so I'm not affiliated directly to any of the brands. And if you are shopping through my links, just know this does not go unnoticed, and I definitely do appreciate it so much, so thank you. And also, in case you do enjoy today's foundation review, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button just in case if you have not yet, and also don't forget to ring the bell in order to stay notified about my upcoming videos, because I am planning to actually do a couple more foundation reviews. I definitely have picked up some foundation as of lately, and I do want to feature them in the future on my channel, so just stay tuned for that. And also, if you do want to know how I did create today's eye look, I am not going to be featuring the eye look in today's video, so just have a look out on my shorts tab, because I'm going to be posting this look next week on my shorts tab for sure. But alright, I feel like that's enough for the intro, so I would say without no further ado, let's talk about this foundation. But first off, let's go barefaced, let's turn back time, and let's start applying the product and of course reviewing it, chatting about all of the details, the whole thing. Alright, you guys, so I'm barefaced right now, so let's actually start off with talking about the product. I'm going to give you the details, I'm going to talk about the claims and also about the shade range before I'm starting to apply the foundation. So this is the Smashbox Always On Skin Balancing Foundation, and it retails for $45. So personally, I was extremely intrigued when this product launched, which was kind of like 2 months ago, I assume. I'm not sure, it might have been just 1 month. I have no recollection of time anymore. But honestly, I was very much intrigued and I picked it up when it launched. So, however, I had the really bad experience of having to deal with a couple of shade mismatches, which we're going to get to. But first off, what really drew me to this product were the claims. And we're going to be looking at the claims right now. So I'm on their official website and there's a lot of description. I'm going to try and narrow it down for you guys and just give you like the bullet points here. The very first thing that actually intrigued me about the foundation was the claim that it is a skin balancing, oil control and hydration foundation. So hyaluronic acid provides instant and 24-hour hydration, while adaptogens help skin work like an automatic thermostat to balance levels of oil and hydration, which I'm always looking for a good kind of like balancing product. I do have somewhat more of like combo skin. I wouldn't say my skin is necessarily over the top oily, nor is it extremely dry. It's somewhat in between. Right now my skin is always a little bit more glowy, and that is just because, my moisturizer sort of gives me the glow. So it's not that my skin would be this kind of shiny on its own. It's basically just the moisturizer that I'm using just has a little bit more of a glowy finish. The next bullet point that intrigued me about this was the fact that it has buildable skin-like coverage. Delivers medium to full coverage and a freshly applied natural looking finish that visibly evens skin tone. Now, I'm always kind of looking for a little bit more of a medium to full coverage foundation. Ever since I went to the dentist like 3 months ago in September, my chin has been rebelling, but it's on its road to recovery, although it might not look like this, but it's doing so much better than 3 months ago. However, I do feel like the situation is a double-edged sword because I can show you how well this product is actually covering it up. So if you are suffering from a breakout, if you have acne-prone skin, I can at least show you if this is going to perform on skin that is not 100% perfect. Because sometimes I feel like having perfect skin might not be the best demonstration of a product like this. And so, it's not perfect for me personally, but then again, I feel like I don't want to say it comes in handy for a video like this, but it kind of does. Moving on from the claim of the coverage to the performance claim, they are claiming that this product is going to keep up for 16 hours, color true wear. Primer infused formula won't cake, flake, or streak for 16 hours and is water, sweat, humidity, crease, settle, and transfer resistant. Those are a lot of claims. Another claim that they are making is that it's skin protecting, so antioxidants help protect skin from environmental aggressors like pollution and blue light. Honestly, this entire pollution, blue light protection claims that these beauty companies are making, sometimes they're bogus. Let's be real, okay? They're not always just scientifically proven, and it's just kind of like a lot of marketing. Also, the foundation is dermatologist tested. It's non-acnegenic, appropriate for all skin types, vegan and cruelty-free. It also does not contain any oils, so that's also something that I do enjoy because my skin does not do well with a lot of oils. If it's 1 or 2 oils, it's fine. But in general, I'm not doing very well with any kind of oil-based product. So there is no oil, so it's kind of an oil-free foundation. It's also fragrance-free, which they forgot to mention. This does not contain any scent, it does not contain any essential oils, and it does not contain any synthetic fragrance, which I definitely do appreciate. It's also a water-based foundation, however, it is not silicone-free. I feel like this relies a little bit more heavily on the silicones. So those were the claims on the foundation. I mean, if you do want some additional information, you can read the very long text on their official website. So let's actually move on to the shade range. And this is really where this product kind of failed me. It is most definitely not the worst shade range I have ever seen. This product comes with 30 different shades. However, the shades that I've picked up, they are all completely wrongly described on the website. And also just the pictures were so misleading. Like, if you can, just go to a store where they carry Smashbox so that you can try out the foundation. Don't rely on the pictures online. I picked this foundation up in 3 different shades and I still don't have my perfect shade match. Usually I'm a light to medium with neutral, leaning, cool undertone. So today I have to end up with a mixing situation. I don't think that I can just use one of these shades on my skin without looking completely ridiculous. I got 3 and none of them work for me. So hopefully the mixing situation is gonna work out for me a little bit better. I still have not tried it out, so it's gonna be a surprise on camera if it's actually gonna maybe create my perfect shade match. Who knows? But yeah, let's talk about the shade range. So the very first shade that I've actually picked up was the shade L20 Neutral. Level 2 light with a neutral undertone. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I looked like an Oompa Loompa. I looked so orange. Also, the fact that this is described as a light level 2, in my experience, this is a medium shade. It's almost like a medium to tan. It was so deep on me, like really, really deep. This is not a light shade, you guys. This is not a neutral undertone. This was orange. Straight up peach orange. It was just not flattering. It did not match me. I looked ridiculous. So then I picked up the shade L10 Level 1 Light with a neutral undertone, thinking maybe it's not going to be orange. Maybe it's going to be neutral. Oh no. This was still a little bit too deep for me. and it was straight up yellow. This had such a yellow undertone. Now, if you know me, you know that I don't like a foundation that pulls yellow. This is also the foundation where I completely forgot to actually film some footage. But just believe me, I mean, you can see it on my arm, this pulls so yellow. So I kind of got desperate after picking up two shade mismatches with the complete wrong undertones. And I just thought to myself, okay, neutral undertones with Smashbox, it just doesn't work for me. You know, it really seriously does not work for me. So I thought, let's have a look at where is the cool undertone at? I need a cool undertone. And I was shook because honestly, they completely forgot people with a cool undertone. And happens all the time, right? They always just assume that people with a fair skin tone are the only people with a cool undertone, which is so not accurate. Most shade ranges that I've seen with foundations, they completely forget to cater to a light to medium with a cool undertone. This brand also kind of completely forgot the cool undertones because it stops at level 2 fair. And there's also a level 3 fair. And the level 3 fair just has a neutral undertone again. And I just did not want to risk it. And also the warm undertones, they look completely yellow. So the only undertone that could have worked for me would have been F20 cool level 2 fair with a cool undertone, which is so unfortunate. I picked it up. And honestly, the undertone works for me. It's a great undertone, but I look like a ghost. It is just too light for me on my skin tone. And this is it. It's the right undertone. And I was a little bit like hopeful that it would work because the foundation does oxidize slightly. However, I still looked so pale. Too pale for my liking. So what I thought we could do today is that I'm gonna use this as a base and then I'm gonna mix in just a little bit of this Oompa Loompa shade L20 neutral, just to get a little bit of color, because I don't think I want to mix in something yellow. I rather mix in something a little bit more orange. Although I don't want to do that really. I wish they would have just catered to like the light levels with cool undertones. Like, you know, that would have been perfect, but the shade range is just not perfect. Now, I don't know how the shade range works out if you have deeper skin. I feel like when you're looking at the deeper skin tones, there are so many different shades that do cater to a deeper skin tone, but I also feel like they don't have that many cool undertones again. I feel like the cool undertones is really where it's lacking in the entire shade range. So that being said, I have to mix in these two shades together today. I'm gonna put back my hair, and also I have not applied a primer just yet, so I actually did pick up a travel size of a primer by Smashbox. I picked up this little size here. This is the Photo Finish Control Mattifying Primer. Now, honestly, I did not realize when I picked this one up, I did not realize the fact that this one does actually contain some salicylic acid. I don't really like BHA. BHA is not the best for my skin, but I do assume it does not have like a lot of BHA in it. It does say this lightweight gel primer helps control shine with witch hazel, salicylic acid, and zinc. So I've already tried out this primer. It's actually not bad. It's not bad, but I would not purchase the bigger size just because if I want to use a BHA, I'm going to use it in my cleanser. I don't want to have it lingering on my skin. My skin is not doing very well with acids in general. But this is not a bad primer in terms of the effect that you can get from it. So as you can see, as of right now, my skin is a little bit shiny because of my moisturizer, but this might cancel out the shine. And it has a very strange color, almost like yellow greenish, you know? So let's apply it on one side of my face first. And it really does a good job in mattifying, you know? It has a little bit more of a gel cream consistency, but just look at this. This did a pretty good job in mattifying my face, right? If you are comparing, this is the spot where I got the oiliest, this right here. it did a pretty nice job without completely giving me cake face vibes. It also feels very silky. Definitely like smoothens out your face without leaving a weird film or anything like that. So I like it. It definitely does absorb. It's not a gripping primer, okay? It's not gonna leave a tag or any of that, but I feel like it did a really good job. Just look at the comparison. That's pretty impressive. So I'm gonna also apply it to the other side of my face. So I'm just gonna show you a little bit on my finger just to show you the texture and the consistency. It's going to run down. Just look at that. It is a little bit more of a lightweight formula, more of a watery formula, so to speak. But it's not completely runny and liquidy. It still has a little bit of a body to it. So I'm gonna just, I don't want to waste the product. I'm just gonna put it in here because we're gonna be mixing these two shades together. Wish me luck. I'm just gonna use a little bit more product than I actually need. So I would say the ratio of this is literally 1/4 of the L20 neutral shade. And I'm gonna be mixing this together. I feel like maybe this is going to be the right shade. It's going to oxidize a little bit on my skin. My favorite way of application is actually with this foundation. I do prefer a dampened sponge. So let's actually see if this is going to be my perfect shade match. Hopefully it's going to oxidize a little bit. Let's see if what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna be doing one side of my face first, just so I can show you the comparison. But this is gonna give me a decent amount of coverage straight away. Is this a perfect shade match? Maybe. It still looks a little bit light, but it's also the winter time. So I'm not as tanned as per usual. Maybe if it's summertime, I would have to do it the other way around with the mixing. I feel like it's a lot better. And yeah, you can see this finish is really stunning. It's very, very stunning. It feels very lightweight on the skin, yet it has really, really good coverage. And it's also not a glowy, dewy foundation. It definitely has a natural finish in the sense that it's not over the top radiant, nor is it very matte as in cake face. It's definitely looking like your skin, and that's what I like. So let's also do the other side. This also has a little bit of a dry down. Like I feel like it's not like a bad dry down, as in, you can definitely build this one up, but it's not gonna stay like wet on the skin for long. It's definitely gonna dry down, which I also kind of like, but it's still flexible enough that you can build it up later on. So this is the foundation applied, one layer of the foundation. I still have quite some product left. So at the end of the day, I did not use that much product, really. I might have used maybe 4 pumps for the entire face. And I really do like the coverage level. It's definitely a medium coverage, medium to full almost. It's a little bit stronger than a normal medium coverage. I really like the finish. It looks pretty. Now, if you do want a little bit more of a glow with this foundation, just bear in mind, I just used a matte primer. You can, of course, also use something glowy for underneath it if you want more of that radiance. Looking at the foundation right now, I really do enjoy it. But I also want to show you that you can actually build up this foundation. So I'm going to use a little bit more of the product. Now, in my everyday life, I would not necessarily build it up like that because I feel like I'm already content with how this is looking. I sometimes do enjoy the fact that my skin still looks like skin with a foundation, but obviously if you require a little bit more coverage, I do want to demonstrate that in today's video. So I also don't want to build it up too much, I just want to take a little bit because it is quite a pigmented product. So I definitely feel like the foundation has almost completely dried down. Like it's not feeling wet on my skin. It also does not feel heavy on my skin. I really don't feel the product sitting on my skin or anything like that. So I really do appreciate it. I do want to put a little bit of concealer, of course, on my under eye. So I'm just going to proceed with one of my favorite concealers here, and that is the Lawless Conceal the Deal concealer. I'm just going to be putting a little bit onto my under eye. I'm gonna blend this out so you can see where I'm putting the concealer as well. So my concealer does match my foundation quite well, and that's a good sign. It just shows me that I made the right decision to actually mix these two shades together. I'm also going to be putting on a little bit of an eye primer because I'm going to film an eye look. So I'm just going to be using my Sigma eyeshadow base primer in the shade Persuade. All right, so the eye primer is applied. So I'm going to just show you how I'm going to powder my face. It's one of my favorite powders in the world. It is not like a really strong mattifying powder, but it's something that I truly do rely on a lot and that I use a lot. Although it's called matte, it's definitely not like the most mattifying powder I've ever tried, but it's just so smoothing. It's so beautiful. And that one is actually the one by Jane Iredale that I love, which is the Pure Matte Pressed Powder. This one you can see, I literally pant this. I love this so much. This is such a good powder. If you have a little bit of drier skin, I feel like you don't even have to powder this foundation. But this is just me. I just always prefer to set my foundation. So I'm going to proceed in finishing off my entire face of makeup. I do want to film like an eye look for my shorts tab. So I'm going to be putting on a bronzer, a blush, a highlighter, eye makeup. I'm going to be back with the wear test. Maybe I'm even going to be doing a couple of check-ins. It really just depends on how my day is working out for me, how the foundation is keeping up, if, you know, I need to do a check-in or not. So yeah, for you guys, it's just going to be a couple of seconds. For me, it's going to be a matter of hours. So yeah, see you later. All right, you guys, so I'm back with the very first check-in. It is basically 8:15 in the evening right now, and I applied this foundation at around 2 p.m. So 6 hours have passed since the last time that you saw me and that I've powdered my face. I have not touched up my makeup at all. I have not touched it up. I have not applied any powder, considering that they have claimed that this is a 16-hour wear time foundation. I mean, I don't think I can manage to stay awake for another 10 hours, you guys. But after 6 hours, I can just tell you right now that I feel like my face looks okay. It's definitely not the worst, but it's also not the best, you know. It has a little bit of glow of oil basically that comes through right here. I still feel like the foundation looks quite good. It's not the worst shine I've ever seen, but it is a little bit noticeable, isn't it? And also I feel like my pores are quite prominent around here, and I don't really want to, you know, touch this up. I'm just going to leave it like this because I want to come back in around whenever I'm going to bed, whenever that's going to be, maybe 11 p.m., maybe 10 p.m., I don't know yet. So far, so good, but this is also just after 6 hours of wear time. So I'm gonna come back in a couple of hours and see how the makeup is looking by then. All right, you guys, here I am with the final check-in before I'm hitting the hay, and I'm literally ready to wash this makeup off my face. So it is now 20 past 11. So I've worn this foundation for over 9 hours, and I've got to say, it's not looking bad. It is still on, my makeup is still there. The only thing is, it is a little bit glowy, isn't it? It's glowier than I actually thought it would be. I have worn this foundation with a different primer prior, the shape mismatches basically, and also with a different powder. So I'm not sure if it's that combination necessarily. Now, on this other occasion, I actually did use one of my favorite primers, the Hourglass Vanish Primer, and I think I used this powder right here with it, the Fit Glow setting powder, which is a little bit more effective in terms of oil control. So maybe, you know, that has something to do with the end result. I feel like it looks a little bit makeup-y, especially my chin. It looks a little bit crusty and stuff. And right here on my nose, it looks very makeup-y. Like, look at that. Like, that does not look very flattering. On my forehead, it is okay. Also, I feel like my pores are really accentuated right now. And I feel like I want to powder it down, but I'm just going to leave it like that because I'm going to wash it off. So there is really no point in me putting on more product, you know, if I'm going to wash it off in a second anyway. But I just want to say, you know, it's a little bit, it feels a little bit heavy. It feels a little bit worn in terms of the look. It feels a little bit shiny. I mean, I might have to use a different powder. Again, I did not experience this type of result when I used this powder and this other primer. So maybe this Smashbox mattifying primer is one of those primers that look really promising at first, but you know, as time goes on, as the day goes by, it does not hold up. It does not perform that well. The foundation, I mean, the coverage is still there though. I just want to say it has not really broken up on me. Maybe just a little bit on my nose, maybe, but also the nose and the chin are the two zones where, you know, that would happen the most likely. I feel like if you would powder this a couple of times throughout the day, the result will definitely not be as dramatic as it is right now. So basically that's it. That's my verdict. I think in terms of performance, it's great. In terms of coverage, it's good. You know, the only thing it would require is a little bit of a touch up. And I would give it like a solid 7 out of 10, to be honest with you. But all right, you guys, that's pretty much everything I wanted to say for the review. So please let me know in the comment section down below, what was your experience with the product in case you've tried it out? Are you agreeing with me? Are you disagreeing with me? Did you kind of experience a complete different result with the foundation? Are you sharing my experience? Are you not? I would be really, really curious to know. And if you found this video helpful or if you just enjoyed it, why not give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and also ring the bell in order to get notified about my upcoming videos. And I shall be seeing you on here very, very soon with the next one again. So please do take care. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.